It's the moment you've all been waiting for. Time for the pros and cons of living in Paris. We can start with the pros. There's a lot of pros, lots of good things. Mostly if you are a city person, you will love it here. Like, it's beautiful. There's great entertainment, amazing restaurants, amazing bars. Like, it's the food capital of the world. Like, you can really have the best food and get all sorts of foods. Like, it's very international in that way. All sorts of foods from all over the world you can find here, and quite affordably and quickly as well. And they're very spread out, and yeah, it's very easy to have good food. Even though I did say that the grocery prices are high, I do believe like the quality of the food here is so good, at least compared to America. Like, it doesn't even compare to America. Like, the food is so good here, even if it's not organic or bio, which you can find quite easily. Even if it's not organic or bio, still the food is really good quality, and they don't use as many sprays and pesticides. Like, actually so many of them are banned here that we use in the States. So yeah, I thought that was really great. Like, you are getting a bang for your buck at least. And yeah, it just tastes so much better and you feel better. And yeah, you can't complain. There's also so many great farmers markets and really local products that are delicious. There's also really beautiful architecture here. Like, just walking around, you can see so many UNESCO heritage sites, like just casually on your stroll, like on your street. Like, really beautiful places, really amazing museums as well that often are having like weekly events, and you'll never be bored. There's always something you can do. There's also really nice parks, not as many, but there are some, and they're really gorgeous. There's some really beautiful parks you have to check out, and they're really great just for like relaxing and chilling. And if you want to have a picnic, if the weather's nice, you'll see so many people out laying or playing sports, and that's super nice. On top of this, I think one of the number one pros of people who come to live here, personally, again, like I said, I did not come as like a normal worker, like working a salary job. However, I've heard from everyone else that they have a really amazing work-life balance, and I think this is what draws a lot of people to Paris, and probably maybe Europe in general, away from the hustle culture of America and other Western countries. Really great work-life culture here. They do not work at all on the weekends. Like, you will not catch them on their email or phone. Same as when the workday ends, like, they're done. They're signed off, like, you cannot reach them. And especially when they go on holiday. And I think that's maybe one of the number one pros. If you are working here, you get at least 2 months of holiday per year, which is like pretty fantastic. And even though I said the salaries, I think, are a bit lower than you would expect for an expensive place, like, if you have 2 months of holiday per year, that's kind of makes up for it. And again, when you're on holiday, the French take this very seriously. Like, they are not working, they're not to be bothered, they're on holiday. So I really respect that, and I think that prevents a lot of burnout and keeps people quite happy here. So it's kind of a win-win. Next, as I said, I do not personally have my public insurance yet, but if I did, and for everyone else who's living and working here, if you're born here, everyone who automatically has this like really great health insurance, that's definitely a number one pro. The best health insurance, and never have to worry about going bankrupt like in the States. You're always protected, so that's super nice, and I think really makes people at ease. Another pro is that it's really easy to travel from here. Like, you're kind of more in a central area. You're close to so many different countries, and even more of France. Like, France is very well connected by trains and metro, etc. So it's really easy to get around, as well as they have international airports, so you can fly pretty much everywhere. And also to the States, we found some really cheap flights, so that's always promising. And as I said, it's really easy to get to the airports. So, or even if you want to take trains, it's really easy from here. You can take trains all over Europe, so that's really great. Although, a con, the trains are not cheap. So personally, I take a lot of buses, or I did maybe back when I was in college here. And those were amazing. Like, you can get buses from here to Amsterdam, to Zurich, to Spain, anywhere in Europe for like 20 to 40 bucks. So yeah, if you don't mind a 9-hour bus, check it out. Time for the cons. Have to do it too. So my experience here in Paris has been I don't know, a bit rocky, I would say. Some days I love it, some days I hate it, and more often than not, I'm just kind of not the happiest here, let's say. And here's why. So, number one problem, I believe, for me is the weather. Like, I come from Los Angeles, California. You can imagine, like, I'm used to 300 plus days of sun per year. Like, maybe even 350 days of sun per year. I'm not exactly sure, don't quote me. But yeah, for me, it was really hard coming someplace where the weather and the winter is super rough and it lasts for a long time. Like, I think this year it started like end of October to get really cold and wet and gross. And then this lasted until, I would say, April even. Like, it just started kind of getting nice last month. Now it's June and now it's really nice. So June, July, August, super great. Although August is going to be really hot. And that's when most people go on holidays. So yeah, for me, the weather was really hard. It did not rain as much as the Netherlands, where I lived for 2 years. So that was nice to not have rain. But for some reason, I thought it was way colder. Just like kind of miserable to go outside, like really gray and dreary and just like not nice. Like, I did not want to be outside. I did not want to go do anything. So I just kind of turned into like a hermit, which maybe is good. Like, you can rest and chill. But for me, as like a very social and outgoing and like active person, like all my hobbies I like to do are outdoors. Like, I don't like to go to cafes. I don't like to like meet at bars. Like, I don't drink. So for me, it's kind of hard. That's the number one for me. And if you're like me, you should really keep caution. Like, seasonal depression is a real thing. So beware, bestie. Number two con is going to be that it is expensive. For what you make here, I think it is too expensive. But again, this is kind of what happens. Like, you're in a very hot spot. Like, a lot of people want to be here. A lot of people like to live here. So that can make it more expensive, which is fine. I get it. Not for everyone though. So yeah, keep that in mind. On top of that, it's really hard to find a place to rent. Like, it's super competitive market here. Like, even if a posting is posted one day before, the next day they will already have like so many offers, like without people even seeing it. So yeah, that part's really hard and you have to prepare for that in advance, which is super annoying and stressful and just not nice. Like, especially if you don't speak French, it's super hard. And yeah, you'll be paying a lot. Third con, or maybe fourth now, I'm losing track. This is a bit of a controversial topic. Some people, and especially the French, will probably get really upset about this, but in my experience, I did not find people in Paris very friendly. Again, this is not all of France. Like, throughout France, I did travel a lot, and I found the people super nice. Like, everyone was great. I love French culture. I love France. Like, really. I believe it's a beautiful country. It's definitely worth exploring and living here for a while. Just maybe not Paris. So in Paris, I found people like same as a lot of big cities, like everyone's go, go, go. Everyone's kind of like on their own, like very independent and just very like robotic, like moving through life in the streets and subways. No one smiles, no one talks to you, no one like really acknowledges you. Like, everyone's either plugged in on their phones, like as they're walking on the street, like scrolling on their phone. Or always having headbutts, or like, I don't know, it just feels very detached from like reality and like real life and like how I believe we're meant to be living, like as human beings, like with each other in nature. So for me, that was really hard and overwhelming when I first got here, and it still is, honestly. And on top of that, more cons. Like, it's very loud here. Like, there's always noises, there's always cars and motorcycles, and when you're walking, like, you can't even enjoy a walk because there's just so much noise, like construction and everything going on. So yeah, for me, that was really not calming to my nervous system. And oftentimes when I go out to, like, I want to relax and get out and enjoy, like, you can't really do that unless you live by two of the big big parks that are here, or any park in general. Like, even to walk to the park, like, it's a lot, you know. So something to keep in mind. If you're okay with noise and stuff, it's great. On top of that, there's so many people here. Like, Paris is quite small. To get from one side to the other is like 30 minutes. So you can imagine it's like one of the most condensed places in the world. Like, compared to how the population and how big the area is. Like there's so many people living here, like having tourists and like guests and whatever. Like there's so many people at one time, at all times of the day and every day. So you're not really ever like calm or like in a place where there's no one, which for me again is super overwhelming. Some people love it. So if you love to be surrounded by people all the time, but like not talking to these people, this is a place for you. Next is that it's like, not only is it loud and there's so many people, but because of that, like it is quite smelly. Like Paris it smells. Like often it smells like piss in the metros or on the streets, and yeah, that's not nice. Next up, some people will disagree with me, but I don't think Paris is like a very international city. And hear me out. Here's why. So because like most French people don't speak very good English, which is like fine, I get it. We're in your country, we speak French. I'm happy to learn. But because of this means that there's not like really an English speaking like international hub, and there's not a lot of like English speaking jobs, I believe, unless you are like in a very specific field or work like in an international thing like tech or marketing or I'm not really sure, but yeah, so there's not as many, which means there's not as many people coming here to work who speak only English, so which is fine. But like if you're looking for an international hub of like digital nomads or like just people living and working in English, I don't think you're gonna find that here. At least I didn't. Maybe I didn't try hard enough, but yeah, you can let me know your experience below. But I just found that there weren't like that many English speaking events, or yeah. And in general, as I said, the Parisians are not that friendly, and they won't go out of their way to like meet new people, especially if they don't speak French, because like I said, they probably don't speak very good English, which is totally fine. I totally get it. But in general, I found that they were pretty closed off Parisians, and they had their friends in their circles that they've known for years, like since they were kids, and they stick to that. They stick to their comfort, like what they know, which is totally fair. Like I totally get it. A lot of people do the same throughout the world. And in general, this has been my experience with French people. Like I've traveled and backpacked a lot, and always there's like the French group like only speaking French to each other, which is super funny. Like no matter where you go in the world, like it's full of French people, which kind of makes sense, like since they have 2 months off of holiday. So fair enough. Well, as I said, this is not representative of like all of France. Like this is just my experience here in Paris. I've met lots of other lovely people, so this is just my experience for this time. And maybe you will have a completely different experience, and that's okay. Next, on the topic of people not being the friendliest, like I find it to be a very judgmental city. Like as people are walking down the street, I can just feel them like judging me like for my outfits. And you know, I thrive in like beachwear and like wearing bikinis and like being shoeless, like having no shoes. Like, you know, the Australian effect really did its number on me. And I'm just happier like wearing what I want and not caring. But for a lot of French people, this is like death. Like they will tell you. They tell you to your face, or at least they'll look you up and down and be like, you chose that to wear. So yeah, for me that's really hard because I don't care about fashion. So if you love fashion, like great, come on down. This is the best place. Like they have so much fashion and famous designers. Like you'll love it here. But for me, that was not a pro. One of the last cons is that there's no body of water to swim in nearby. Like you have to take a train and a bus like at least 50 minutes to go swimming. And when you go, it's super beautiful. Like it's super worth it, super nice, but you can't do that every day, you know? So especially in the summer when it's super hot, like I find that impossible. Like how can you survive? And for me, it's really important, like just to be able to like go in water and like swim and enjoy. And if this is not important to you, like you can disregard this. That's okay. These are some of my pros and cons. Like I said, you might have different ones, but for me, the cons kind of outweigh the pros. And since I'm not interested in like fashion or tech or finance, I find that this is not the place for me, and that's okay. Like there's nothing bad I have to say about Paris, just that it's not for me. And in general, I do not think I'm like a big city person. So, you know, I am learning more and more about myself every day, and So this is something like I've come to terms with, and probably I will be moving shortly. You can guess where in the comments below. Here was my experience living in Paris. As I said, this is solely my experience and my takeaways from my time here that is now coming to an end. This is part of the reason why I feel Paris is not right for me, but if these things really resonated with you, then maybe it's the place for you, and maybe these things are perfect for you. So yeah, I invite you to try it yourself, have your own experience, but here are some things you can be aware of and plan for if you decide to move here. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and let me know if you would like any more information or which video you would like me to make next in the comments below. Bye!